So the last class, what we seen, the first class itself, we seen definition of binary operation. Then uh, we saw a lot of examples for binary operation for different sets. Then the last class, we defined definition of a group. Okay, what is the definition of group? G is a non-empty set. Star is a binary operation on G. Then G comma star is called a group if the following conditions are satisfied. The first condition is nothing but closure axiom. So if you choose any two element in G, then apply the operation, the resultant also in G, then we say that the closure axiom satisfied. So the next one is associative property or associative axiom. If we choose three element, any three element in G, so first apply star for B and C, then A. Similarly, first apply star for A and B, then C. Both expressions are equal, then we say that associative axiom satisfied. The third one is identity axiom or existence of an identity. If we choose any element in G, there exists a unique element in G, say E, A star E is equal to E star A equal to E, then we say that identity axiom satisfied. So when you do the problem, consider A star, sorry, here I did mistake, this is A, not E. Okay, this is A, I did mistake, this is A, not E. Okay, so consider A star E is equal to A, then derive easily you can derive E value, but you have to check whether E is belongs to the corresponding set or not. If it is E belongs to the corresponding set, then only we can say that the identity axiom satisfied. Similarly, the fourth one is inverse axiom. If we choose any element in G, there exists an element A inverse in G such that A star A inverse equal to A inverse star A is equal to E. If such A inverse exists in the corresponding set, we can say that identity inverse axiom satisfied. So when you do the problem, consider A star A inverse equal to E. From that, apply E value from the by using previous axiom. So easily we can derive A inverse, but you have to verify whether A inverse belongs to the given set or not. If all the four axioms satisfied, we can say that G comma star is an group. The next property, commutative property, that means if we choose any two element in G, A star B is equal to B star A, then we say that the commutative property satisfied. Okay, in that set. After that, we see the definition of abelian group. For proving abelian group, first of all, G comma star is a group. Then it satisfies one more condition, that is commutative property. Then we say that G comma star is an abelian group. Then order of the group is nothing but number of distinct elements in that set. If the elements are finite, we can say that finite group. If the elements are infinite, we can say that infinite group. Semi-group means a set with binary operations satisfies closure and associative, that is called semi-group. Monoid means a set with binary operations satisfied closure, associative, and identity axiom. Here identity axiom is missing. Okay, so that is we call monoid. The first two property, closure associative semi, closure associative identity monoid, closure associative identity inverse group, closure associative identity inverse and commutative abelian group. Okay. So yesterday I told that go and see your +2 book. There are a lot of example for semi group, monoid, not binary, and so on. Okay. So here I show the table. So just verify yourself. So in last class we seen one example, that is prove that Z comma plus is an infinite abelian group. This is only for practice. Okay, for exam point of a problem, I give the symbol attention. Okay. So closer, associative, and a lot of things we seen. Okay. The major part is identity axiom. Okay. Choose A, that operation E which is equal to A. Consider this step. Finally, we derive E value. Whether E values belongs to the corresponding set, then we can set identity axiom satisfied. Similarly, consider For inverse axiom, we consider A star A inverse equal to E. From that, I can derive A inverse value. You have to check whether A inverse belongs to the corresponding set or not. Okay. So today we are going to move into another simple example. This is also only for practice, not in the point of exam point of view, because all are the example in the +2 itself. Okay. So only just recall purpose only I give the example. Okay. Then today example 2. Example 2 is nothing but prove that Q minus 0 is an infinite abelian group under multiplication. The last example, under addition, we shown that the given set with binary operation is a group. Here, the given set is Q minus 0, that is set of all non-zero rational numbers. Set of all non-zero rational number. Q minus 0 means set of all non-zero rational numbers. Under multiplication, we have to prove infinite abelian group. This is where easiest one, the similar one. Quickly we recall. If we choose any two element in Q minus 0, the product of them is also belongs to Q minus 0, because A and B are non-zero. When you multiply, definitely the AB cannot be 0, because when you multiply two numbers, the result is 0. Any one of them 0 or both of them 0. But here none of them is 0. So definitely product of two elements in Q minus 0 also in Q minus 0. Since product of two rational numbers is again a rational number, we have to verify one thing, whether AB is 0 or not 0. Clearly AB is non-zero. Okay, because A and B are non-zero. So therefore closure axiom satisfied. The next one, if we choose any three element A, B, C in Q minus 0, clearly A dot B dot C, A dot B, C is satisfied, because since multiplication is always associative, therefore associative axiom is satisfied. See, in addition multiplication directly we can write it, since addition is always associative, since multiplication is always associative when dealing with numbers. Okay, underline the word when dealing with numbers. Here directly I write, otherwise you can do it the previous way. That is, if we choose any element in Q minus 0, what is my ultimate idea? When you multiply any number by the identity element, you will get the same element. That is, A dot E is equal to A. So write it, A dot is equal to A. Okay. What is your E? E equal to A by A. A by A cancel. Find the E value, E equal to 1. Directly you can get it. Okay, because A is non-zero, so definitely A by A is non-zero, non-zero by non-zero, definitely I can cancel. So 0 by 0 only I cannot cancel, so A is non-zero. So if you cancel A by A, finally you will get E equal to 1. So in number rows, directly I know that, so only I write like that. So for every A belongs to Q minus 0, the next element 1 belongs to Q minus 0, such that A dot 1 equal to 1 dot A equal to A is clear. Therefore, identity axiom satisfied. In other words, write A dot E equal to A, simplify, finally you get E equal to 1. E equal to 1 belongs to Q minus 0, so identity axiom satisfied. Similarly, inverse axiom directly I wrote it. Okay, for every element A in Q minus 0, there is element 1 by A in Q minus 0, such that A into 1 by A, which is equal to 1 by A into A, which is equal to 1. In other words, I know that because the inverse of A is 1 by A. In other words, take A dot A inverse equal to E, where E is 1. So what is your A inverse equal to 1 by A? So A is belongs to Q minus 0, definitely 1 by A also Q minus 0, because which element doesn't belong to Q minus 0? Infinite. Okay, as well as irrational and complex number. But A is irrational, definitely 1 by also rational. When it fails, A 0 it fails, but A is non-zero, definitely 1 by A also in Q minus 0. Therefore 1 by A is an inverse element of A. Inverse axiom satisfied. So similarly, the fifth axiom, because I want to prove is the infinite abelian group. So for abelian group, I have to check the fifth condition. If we choose any two element in Q minus 0, A dot B is equal to B dot A. Since multiplication is always commutative, addition also commutative. When you deal with number, if it is multiplication, if it is addition, directly you can write since multiplication is always associative, since addition is always associative. When you deal with number for associative and commutative, directly you can write the statement. No need to prove. So commutative axiom is satisfied. Therefore, one more. Since q minus 0 is an infinite number, okay, therefore q minus 0 is an infinite set. Finally, we conclude that q minus 0 is an infinite abelian group under multiplication. The first example z comma plus is an group. Second example q minus 0 under multiplications form an infinite abelian group. Okay, only for practice, not exam point of view. But next, similarly, you can prove R minus 0 and C minus 0 are infinite abelian groups. Okay. I will give the hint, so refer yourself, okay, then do it yourself. The next example is an important one because this is a next example is nothing but a finite abelian group, because such example they may ask in your university exam question. So the proof of this example, the solution for this example, the structure you have to know clearly. The same structure we are going to prove the many problems in our first unit. That is the such type of question asked in the university examination. This question is not important, but the solution is important. The structure of the solution is important. The same structure we are going to use in your the important questions in unit 1. Okay. Show that the cube root of unity forms an abelian group, finite abelian group under multiplication. So finite means suppose the given set is finite, go for Cayley table. This is familiar to you. Okay. So I consider the given set is cube root of infinity is nothing but oftenly we denoted by cube root of infinity is 1 omega square with omega cube equal to 1 omega and omega square. Omega is nothing but minus 1 by 2 plus I root 3 by 2. Omega square is minus 1 by 2 minus I root 3 by 2. So once you know that the given set is finite, go for Cayley table. Okay. So that means this is under multiplication 1 omega square 1 omega square. So you have to verify yourself whether omega into omega is omega square. That is, originally you have to verify whether you multiply omega into omega, you will get omega square. You have to verify yourself. This is known problem, so directly I can say that omega into omega is omega square. A into A square. Similarly, omega into omega square. But you have to verify yourself. Actually, omega into omega is equal to omega square or not. That is minus 1 by 2 plus I root 3 by 2. Minus 1 by 2 plus I root 3 by 2. You will get minus 1 by 2 minus I root 3 by 2. You have to verify yourself. Okay. So directly simple multiplication, we can do the problem, the simple multiplication, 1 into 1, 1, 1 into omega, 1 into omega square, like that you can easily fill the table, okay. When you observe the entries of the element, entries of the table, so only we have 3 elements, 1 omega square, 1 omega square. All the entries are in the given set alone. What's the given set? 1 omega square. When you see the entries of the tables, all are belongs to G only. Okay. So this structure is very, very important. Okay. So finite set means you can follow this procedure. Okay. From the Cayley table or from the above table, we see that all entries in the tables are members of G, therefore closure property is satisfied. It's enough. So here and multiplication is given, so we deal with the numbers, so multiplication is always associative, it is enough. So from the table easily you can identify, so identity element, under multiplication always is one is identity element. If you multiply any element with one, the same element you will get it, so one is an identity element. The ideal one is the ideal one, because under multiplication we know that one is an identity element. So one is belongs to G also. Therefore identity axiom satisfied. First three directly you can write, but inverse you have to mention. So what is the inverse of 1? What is the inverse of omega? What is the inverse of omega square? Okay, we see the table. What do we mean inverse? So when suppose I want to find the inverse of 1 means, so 1 into some element which is equal to e. So obviously the inverse of 1 is 1. Similarly, suppose you want to find the inverse element of omega, omega into something which is equal to 1, because identity element is e. A into a inverse equal to e. So omega into which element you will get the identity element. See, simply I can say that. So you need inverse of omega. So corresponding to omega such the identity element 1, then vertically you can get the inverse element. So omega is, or inverse of omega is omega square. Inverse of omega square is omega. Suppose you want to find the inverse of some element, so corresponding to such the identity element, vertically you can such the element, that is nothing but inverse of your element. So inverse of omega is omega square, inverse of omega square is omega. Here you have to mention the what are the inverse element. Okay, this is the most important. Okay, the inverse of 1 is 1, the inverse of omega is omega square, the inverse of omega square is omega. Therefore, inverse property is satisfied. Since g comma dot is true, because closure satisfied, associate satisfied, identity axiom satisfied, inverse property satisfied, or inverse axiom satisfied. Therefore, g comma star is true. It's a very, very important procedure. This is not an important problem, but the procedure is very, very similar. If you have a finite set, so follow the procedure. From the K table, we see that first is always common. Second is you have to, if it is number, directly you can write it. Third, easily identify from the table. Fourth, you have to list out the inverse element by using the table. Okay. Since multiplication is always commutative because we deal with the numbers, so directly I can write multiplication is always associative. Therefore, G comma dot is an finite abelian group. Did you understand? Do you have any doubt? Okay, similarly we can prove another problem, that is a homework, that is prove that set of all fourth root of unity forms an abelian group under multiplication. This example, most wanted example, you have to remember this example because we use lot of place in this example. Okay, that is find the example for find abelian group is 1 minus 1 I minus I. That is, this is nothing but fourth root of unity. Similarly way you can prove it. So I give the identity element as well as inverse element, just to make a K table and verify yourself. Okay. Example 4, this is also only for knowledge point of view. So let G, quickly we can recall, let G be in set of all 2 by 2 matrices ABCD, where ABCD are real numbers such that whose determinant is non-zero. Then G is an infinite group, it's not a abelian group, G is an infinite group under multiplication. Note the word infinite group. Closure axiom. If you add if you multiply two elements, you know the procedure. Okay. So ultimately, I want to show that each and every element is a real number whose determinant is non-zero. Two things I want to show you. Okay. So just apply the multiplication formula. So here I show I explain here. So a omega plus a omega plus by because a b c d omega x y z all are real numbers. So whose product also real number, whose addition also real. I mentioned here since product of two real number, addition of two real numbers is also real. So the entries are real. One thing I proved. One more thing I have to show that the whose determinant is non-zero. Just multiply, just apply the determinant rule. I show that this is non-zero since AD minus BC, WZ minus XY is non-zero. So obviously this is also non-zero. Okay. So closure axiom is satisfied. See, just multiply inside the bracket. Finally, easily you can conclude that whether this is non-zero or not. So matrix multiplication is also associative, but not a commutative property. associative law of matrix holds, associative law of multiplication holds in matrices. So associative axiom is satisfied. Okay. Identity axiom, you know that clearly identity element 1001, directly you can write it, then directly you can inform it. So identity axiom is clearly satisfied because I belongs to C, G, therefore identity axiom is satisfied. Inverse axiom I write directly. Okay, you can also write directly because by using A inverse equal to 1 by A in determinant of A and adjoint of A, use this I directly write it because no need to write from here. A simple thing. So this is not an important problem. Only matrix point of view, just I shown one problem. That's all. Here you have to show that A inverse is non-zero. I explain clearly here. Just refer it. Therefore, G is finite. Therefore, G is finite. G comma star is an infinite group. So up to this, so I gave only few examples. Just I recall the examples in group theory. Okay, just once again I recall few seconds. Then next problem is in next three problems for your university problem. They may ask as a 8-mark problem. Okay, in your university examination, they may ask as a 8-mark problem. Next three problems. So less important only, even though here that is in algebra number theory, 5th semester for group, you have to study the following problems. Okay, so first we have seen that definition of binary operation, then definition of group, definition of abelian group, then order of the group, then we seen some examples under addition, under multiplication, then with using matrices. We seen lot of examples for group also. Okay, so please refer for more detail. You can refer your +2 book. Yeah, in +2 book we have lot of examples. The next problem also in your +2 book, even though the exam is important for your 5th semester. Okay, so only I mentioned the symbol attention. Show that the set G of all rational number except -1 forms an abelian group with respect to the operation A star B is equal to A plus B plus AB for every element AB belongs to G. So what is your given set? The set of all rational number except -1. What we have to show that is an abelian group. So obviously it's an infinite abelian group. Okay. What is your operation? A star B is defined like that, A plus B plus AB. This type of problem they may ask in your university examination question paper. Okay, so this is the first important problem in your unit 1. Okay, do you familiar with this problem? I think you studied the same problem in your district mathematics also. Anyone reply me? Are you listening me? Because on last 20 minutes I am only speaking with you. Anyone reply me? Do you seen that the exact problem in your discrete mathematics? Or you forget? Anyone reply me? Yes, sir. Balaraman. Thank you. At least you listen. Okay. So this is an this problem already you studied in your +2. This problem already studied in DM. So that we cannot omit this problem. They asked as a 8-mark problem. This is an 8-mark problem. Okay. So this type of problem is a very important problem in your algebra number theory. Okay. This is a 50% chance of getting 8-mark, but there is an 80% of getting 8 marks also there. There is nothing but symmetry group. We will see later. Okay. Okay, what is the given set? Given set G is Q minus 1, that is why I write like this. So Q is a set of all rational number except -1. Okay, where Q is a set of all rational numbers. What is your operation? A star B is equal to A plus B plus AB. Please observe the operation. Star, that is A star B means that is before star after star. So just adding before star plus after star plus product of before and after. So A plus B plus AB is, you have to observe the operation. So what I said, before and after, using the word, then observe the operation is easily for proving the associative axiom and commutative axiom. Okay, so what the operation did, before plus after plus before into after. Okay, so A plus B plus AB. Closure axiom. If you choose any two element in G, also A star B, A plus B plus AB, which is belongs to G. Directly I can write it, but you have to, you can write it, but you have to give the reason. Okay, how do you say that A plus B plus AB is in G? Since addition of two rational numbers, because A plus B is nothing but addition of two rational number. This is the product of two rational number. So since addition of two rational numbers is again a rational number, product of two rational number is also again a rational number, but we have to prove that A star B is not equal to -1, because in G I have a non, that is if you choose any element in G which is not equal to -1, which is not equal to -1. So addition of two rational again a rational, I am clear. Product of any rational is rational, that is also clear. But A plus B plus AB is not equal to -1. That is a major part. Okay, I want to show that A star B is not equal to -1. But on the contrary, I assume that A star B is -1. Finally, I get some contradiction. Then finally, I conclude that A star B is not equal to -1. So on contrary, I assume that A star B is equal to -1. Okay, A star B is equal to -1 means what? A star B means A plus B plus AB equal to -1. From second and third term, I can take out B outside, so B into 1 plus A. I can bring, that is, I subtract on A on both sides, so A minus A cancel, here I will get minus A. So I can divide by 1 plus A on both sides, here I can take it out minus N outside. Then I can divide by 1 plus A on both sides, finally I will get B equal to -1. Because if 1 plus A is 0, I cannot divide both sides. But 1 plus is non-zero. How? Because A is not equal to -1. I choose the element from G. So what are the element in G? The element in G are not equal to -1. If you choose any element in G which is not equal to -1, clearly A is not equal to -1. Okay, so A is not equal to -1. Definitely this is non-zero element. So definitely you can divide on both sides. Finally, we get B equal to -1. But B is an not equal to -1, because here I missed something. So here you have to write A comma B belongs to G. That means A is not equal to -1, B is not equal to -1, because I choose A and B from G. So if you choose any element in G which is not equal to -1, so clearly B is not equal to -1, but we arrive at B equal to -1. This is contradiction to our assumption. So why I got this contradiction? I assume that A star B is equal to, I assume that A star B is equal to -1. Then only I got the contradiction. So our conclusion is A star B is not equal to -1. Okay. So I show that A star B is not equal to -1. Therefore, closure axiom satisfied. This type of problem, closure axiom play a vital role. Okay. Then associative axiom, easily you can prove it. Quickly I can recall it. A star A comma B comma C belongs to G. Then A star B star C is equal to. What do you first apply apply the binary operation for B and C. So B plus C plus BC. And then again applied in that case. So what I teach you, that is easy for you. Before plus after. Before is A, after is B plus C plus BC plus product of before and after, that is A into B plus C plus BC. Just simplify, you will get one expression. Similarly, A star B is equal to star C. Just apply apply the binary operation for A and B. So A plus B equal to AB. Sorry, A plus B plus AB. Again before plus after. So before is A plus B plus AB plus after C. plus before into after. So A plus B plus AB into C. Just simplify, you will get the equation 2. From equation 1 and 2, we have A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. Therefore, associative axiom is satisfied. Identity axiom. So this procedure you have to follow in anywhere. Okay. Suppose the operation is defined. This procedure you have to follow. Let E be an identity element. I assume that E be an identity element. I didn't say that E is an identity element. I assume that E is an identity element. By the definition of identity element, I can say that A star C equal to A. Apply the operation for binary operation for the left hand side. So before plus after plus before into after. So simplify. So I can subtract on A on both sides. E plus A is equal to A minus A. So A minus A becomes 0. So I can take out E outside 1 plus A. I can divide by 1 plus A on both sides because 1 plus A is non-zero. So easily I can divide. So finally what do we get? If we divide 1 plus A on both sides, so E equal to 0. So 0 belongs to G because only in G, the G does not have the element which is not equal to minus 1. Okay. So that is, so E is 0 which is not equal to minus 1. E is 0 which is not equal to minus 1. Therefore, E equal to 0 belongs to G. Identity axiom is satisfied. Okay. So derive this, find E value. We have to check whether E belongs to G or not. That's all. So which element does not belongs to G? The element which is not equal to minus 1, that element does not belongs to G. Okay. So clearly identity axiom satisfied. Similarly, inverse axiom. So let A inverse be the inverse element of A in G. By the definition of inverse, A star A inverse equal to E. We know that E equal to 0. So I substitute here. Apply the binary operation for the left hand side. A plus A inverse plus A inverse because before plus before into after, which is equal to 0. I can take out A right hand side. Here I miss minus sign. Okay, sorry. Here I miss minus sign. So A inverse plus A inverse equal to minus A. I can take out A inverse outside. Finally, I get one A inverse into 1 plus A divided by 1 plus A on both sides. A inverse equal to minus A divided by 1 plus A. So when which is does not which is does how do you say this is belongs to G? A is not equal to minus 1. Okay. So here if we get 0 in the denominator, definitely it does not belongs to G. Okay. A is does not equal to minus 1. Definitely this is definitely is not equal to minus 1. So the element this is, see here there is an element minus 1. A is not equal to minus 1. So 1 plus A also is not equal to minus 1. Division also not equal to minus 1. Okay. So obviously this is belongs to G, but you have to think like that. The denominator is 0. Definitely it does not belongs to G. There is possible of getting denominator 0? No, because A is non-zero. Definitely the denominator is positive, non-zero. So A equal to A by 1 plus A. That is here I miss minus sign. So put minus sign. So definitely A by A plus A belongs to G alone. Therefore, inverse axiom also satisfies G comma star is an group. So commutative axiom, when you going to prove the associative axiom also you can prove like this. If you are clever, you can directly prove like this. Okay. So A star B is equal to A plus B minus AB. So I want to prove that this is B star A. B star A means B plus A minus BA. Easily I can replace A plus B as B plus A. I can replace AB as BA. So A star B is equal to B star A. Therefore, commutative axiom is satisfied. So G comma star is an abelian because five axioms are satisfied. Therefore, G comma star is an abelian group. G is an infinite shape. Therefore, G comma star is an infinite abelian group. Do you have any doubt? Anyone replying me? Do you have any doubt? Sanjay, Vignesh, no doubt. Okay. So already you know this problem. Okay. So one thing you have to keep in your mind. So the given set is except for something. You have to very careful. The given set is except for something. You have to very careful in closure axiom, then inverse axiom, identity axiom. Okay. Now associative axiom always satisfied. That is not a problem. But suppose the given set is except for some value, you have to very careful in closure axiom, identity axiom, inverse axiom. Associative, commutative always satisfy. That is not a problem. Okay. The similar way, you have one more problem also when you search your plus 2 book. That is, I think q minus 1. The operation is a star b is equal to a plus b minus ab. I think so. You can refer that problem also. Try it yourself. The next problem, maybe first problem is familiar with you, but the second problem is little bit different. Okay. Please listen carefully. Compared to first problem, listen another important problem. Okay. Please listen carefully. Then only you can understand the problem. Okay. Prove that A comma star is a non-abelian group. Prove that A comma star is a non-abelian group. But what do you mean by A? A is nothing but A star cross R. That is, A is nothing but is ordered pair. A is nothing but the set of all. The A is nothing but set of all ordered pair. The first element belongs to R star. The second element belongs to R. What do you mean by R star? Non-zero real number. What do you mean by R? The set of all real numbers. Clear? So here A represents the set of all ordered pair. Ordered pair means open bracket A comma. This is called ordered pair. Okay. A is nothing but set of all ordered pair. The first element belongs to the set of all non-zero real number. The second element belongs to set of all real numbers. So suppose you get some order pair, you have to keep in your mind first element belongs to R star. That means first element cannot be 0. Second element can be 0. That is not a problem. Second element, there is no problem. First element cannot be 0. Keep in your mind. Okay. What is a binary operation? If you choose two elements from A, say A comma B belongs to A, C comma D belongs to A, then apply the binary operation that is defined by first coordinate into first one. That is A into C, comma BC plus D. So you have to clearly understand this definition. So binary operation define this. Say this is x coordinate, this is y coordinate. Okay, just I multiplied by the both x coordinate. That is nothing but my resultant x coordinate. But my y coordinate is not like that. I have to multiply the y coordinate of the first element, then x coordinate of the second element, then add with the y coordinate of the second element. Okay, it's clear. So that is AC, comma x coordinate is over. Then for y coordinate BC plus D. That is y coordinate of the first element into x coordinate of the second element plus y coordinate of the second element. So that is where A comma B, A comma C belongs to R or B comma D belongs to R. Okay. You have to understand one thing. A is non-zero, C is non-zero. Definitely AC is also non-zero. Okay. You have to keep in your mind first coordinate, that is x coordinate, should be non-zero. Okay. So I choose these two elements from A. So definitely A is non-zero, C is non-zero. So you have to verify the binary operation also. Here they define like it, but you have to justify whether it's binary or not. If it is binary, first element cannot be 0, second element belongs to R. That is set of all real numbers. So AC cannot be 0 since A is non-zero, C is non-zero, definitely AC is also non-zero. So the given definition of binary operation is valid. Okay. So choose any two element in A, just apply the binary operation which is belongs to A. Since for every element AC belongs to R, so definitely for any two element A comma C belongs to R, definitely the product also belongs to R star. Since A is non-zero, C is non-zero, definitely AC also non-zero. If we choose any two element B and D in R, and C belongs to R star, because this element B and D belongs to R, but C belongs to R star. Okay. When you multiply B and C, okay, B is belongs to R, C is belongs to R star, BC belongs to R. Okay, because this is not a non-zero element. It can be a zero element. B side can be zero element, but 0 and anything 0. This is all 0 is an also element of R. Okay, that is not a, because R is an set of all real number. BC can be 0. B belongs to R, C belongs to R star, C belongs to R. Obviously, it belongs to R. One case you have to remember, if it is B is 0, what is the resultant? 0 into C is 0. 0 is also is one of the element of real number. So BC belongs to R. So BC belongs to R, D belongs to R. The sum of two real numbers also belongs to R. So these are all notation ways is enough. No need to write the word. That is, addition of two real number is real. Product of two real number is real. So product of one real element and non-zero real element is again is a real element. No need to write like this. So sir, how do you write all this thing like that? So you may ask, sir, எப்படி sir இதெல்லாம் இவ்வளவு பெருசு எழுதுறீங்க? Very simple. Write the definition. What is my first thing? This is belongs to author, this is belongs to R. That is I want to show you. Okay, I know that A and C belongs to R star, B and D belongs to B comma D belongs to R. Okay, first I have to show that AC belongs to R star. So where you get A and C belongs to R star, definitely AC belongs to R star. Directly you can write it. Okay, yes, it's clear. Then for second y coordinate you have to prove that it belongs to R. So where is B? B and D belongs to R. C belongs to R star, which implies BC plus D belongs to R. Why? BC belongs to R. Then here I use the operation addition of two real numbers is real. Here I use the operation product of two real numbers is again a real. Okay. Therefore, the first coordinate is non-zero. First coordinate belongs to R star. The second coordinate belongs to R. Closure axiom satisfied. You got like all the things. If you miss anything, definitely you they will reduce the mark. Okay. So AC comma BD belongs to A. An associative axiom is easy for you. Similar way, I choose three elements in A. So first apply the operation for second element and third element. So that means CE comma DE plus F. Okay. Then here that is x coordinate to x coordinate. So ACE, y coordinate y coordinate of the first element, x coordinate of the second element BCE plus y coordinate of the second element DE plus F. Okay, this is equation number 1. Similarly, so first apply the binary operation for first two element. Then if you apply, what do you get? AC plus BC plus D. Then apply operation with E comma F. So what do you get? X coordinate into x coordinate ACE comma y coordinate of the first element, x coordinate of the second element product. So BC plus D into E plus y coordinate of the second element plus F. So simplify, you will get the same equation from 1 and 2. It's clear. Associative axiom is satisfied. Okay. So ideal axiom, always I consider choose any element in A. There is the element E comma E1 comma E2 belongs to A. Here I have to write let E1 comma E2 be an identity element in A. Don't like that. Don't write like this. Here you have to write let E1 comma E2 be the identity element in A. We have to prove that E1 comma E2 belongs to A. Okay, that is our ultimate aim. So this is wrong way. If we choose for every element A comma belongs to A and let E1 comma E2 belongs to A. Okay, what we have to prove that A star is equal to A. So consider. Sorry. This is I wrote that we have to prove like this. We have to prove like this. What is our identity axiom? If you choose any element in A, there is element in A star is equal to A. So this is we have to prove like this. Okay. Next step, let A comma B belongs to A and let E1 comma E2 be the identity element Then consider A star A comma B star E1 comma E2 which is equal to A comma B. That is A star is equal to A. So apply the operation x coordinate to x coordinate, then y coordinate to x coordinate plus y coordinate which is equal to A comma B. Comparing the component wise, so E1 equal to A, B1 plus E2 equal to B. From this I can get E equal to 1. Substitute E equal to 1 in the second expression. Finally we get E equal to 0. So the identity element is nothing but 1 comma 0. So which is belongs to A. How do you check? The x coordinate is non-zero, y coordinate is a real number. X coordinate is a non-zero real number, y coordinate is a real number. Obviously, x coordinate is non-zero number, also real. Y coordinate is a real number. Therefore, identity axiom satisfies. Therefore, 1 belongs to R star, 0 belongs to R. Therefore, identity axiom satisfies. Quickly, 1 minute, I will quickly complete. Similarly, inverse axiom, I have to prove like this. So I consider A star B star A is inverse. I consider inverse of A comma B is nothing but A inverse comma B inverse. Apply it, comparing the component wise, simplify, you will get the inverse element. One thing I have to verify, first element belongs to R star, second element belongs to R. So A belongs to R star, definitely 1 by A also belongs to R star. A belongs to R star, B belongs to R, definitely minus B by A belongs to R. Simple thing, you have to think yourself. So inverse axiom also satisfied. So A comma star form a true because 4 axioms are verified. Then commutative axiom, just verify yourself. Okay. A comma B star C comma D, C comma D star A comma B. When you observe 3 and 4, is commutative axiom is satisfied? Anyone reply me? From 3 and 4, can you say that commutative axiom satisfied? Choose 2 element in A, apply the binary operation, then reverse order apply the binary operation. Both are equal, then commutative axiom satisfied. From 3 and 4, can you conclude that commutative axiom satisfied or commutative axiom not satisfied? Anyone reply me? Vishal Varshan. Vishal Varshan, Visweswar Raja, Yanugandi Samosai. Tell me, from 3 and 4, commutative axiom satisfied or not? Okay, time is over, so I will complete. From 3 and 4, tell me. Vignesh, think so. Yes, so obviously not equal. Why think so? Obviously from 3 and 4, A comma B star C comma D is not equal to C comma D star A comma B. Commutative axiom not satisfied. Therefore, A comma star is not an abelian group. Sir, wait, one thing. What's the questions? What is the question? The question is, I have to show that non-abelian group. See, you have to listen the question very careful. I have to show that group, or I have to show that abelian group, or I have to show that non-abelian group. Here they mention is a non-abelian group. Obviously, commutative axiom not satisfied. One thing you can keep in your mind, non-abelian means commutative does not satisfy. So already I prove all these things. Therefore, I prove that A comma star is a non-abelian group. Okay, students, time is over. You can leave now. So refer my notes, refer my slide. I will upload the slide today. So if you have any doubt, please ask me, ask us. We are 3 people here. So if you have some silly doubt also, you can ask me. Don't worry. So you are coming to college for learning many things. So you want to learn, you have to ask doubts. Then only you can learn something. Okay, once you didn't ask a doubt means you are intellectual. Otherwise, you nothing is understand. Okay, so you understand something, definitely you have a doubt. Okay, so the last 2 problems are important problem. Go through it. Just do it yourself at least one time. Then only you can know that how do you prove this, like prove all the problem. Okay, so now you can leave the class. Thank you.